Well, it happened. Finally, the most anticipated seat on the grid has been filled. Filled with... who is this again? It looks to me like Toto just lost his number 1 draft pick and is now just resorting to picking up some kid that was walking past Toto's car at the wrong time.
There is no stewards here, so I think I'm allowed to block them, bump into them, squeeze them into the wall. I mean, I have a few ideas.
And when I say kid, I really do mean it. That lad has literally just turned 18. It's fucking absurd how young these rookies are getting. Soon they'll be resorting to doing recruiting events at kindergartens because the fucking school kids have already been signed for their race debut. Just to put things into perspective, Alonso, the old man on the grid, still essentially just a young chap, he just recently passed the ripe age of 43. That is 2.4 lifetimes for Kimi. Andrea. Whatever the fuck his name is. He's got 2 apparently. I hate these parents that think they're the fucking Rothschilds and need to give 15 different names to their kids. Like he's going to be the next ruler of England. The only thing most of these kids will rule in their lifetime is their mortgaged 15 square meter flat in Sutton. But anyways, returning back to the topic, this child who is yet to sprout a single facial hair on his baby face, so essentially Lando last year, is given the simple and trivial task of filling the shoes of a 7-time world champion. The hands down most popular and well-known figure in the sport, an absolute superstar, and a dickhead. Lewis Hamilton, everybody. Woo! Oh my god! Woo! Good fucking luck, mate.
I didn't get a win. Overall, pretty shocking year. My goal is to get back on the top. I'm trying to win a world championship again and reclaim my 8th.
But apparently, according to the thousands of articles I definitely read through and analysed to have the best perspective possible before humbly blasting you with my thoughts and opinions, he might just be able to pull it off. In fact, he might have what the team has been lacking these past few miserable seasons we've had to witness. Because God knows they need all the help they can get. So without further ado, I've already rambled on far enough. Let's get to the actual topic at hand. Who the fuck is this Kimi Antonelli III? And why is he the one to take the wheel and steer the barge that is Mercedes towards the promised land of that long-awaited 9th championship? Again, I'm such a fucking poet, mate. Maybe I should ditch this commentating gig and just start writing. I could sit around all day and write 4 sort of rhyming sentences with a few odd references to the eternal suffering that is life as we know it. Kind of already sounds like what I do now. So let's get you caught up on who this Kimi fella is. I don't even know which fucking name I'm supposed to use, mate. The first name is Andrea, but he usually goes by his second, which already makes no fucking sense to me. But then whenever I say Kimi and kid in the same sentence, I twitch. Because all I can think of is this 50-year-old Finnish pensioner sipping beer on his yacht somewhere in the Mediterranean. And that's as far away from an Italian teenager as you could possibly imagine. By the way, which fucking Italian named their kid Kimi? The fuck's wrong with him? Anyways, Kimi, the kid, has had a nick for motorsport essentially since he was born. His father apparently was a racer himself and so bestowed his son in the arts of motor racing, teaching him all the ins and outs of the sport. Of course, initially he wanted him to be a footballer, but at the mature age of 7 he realized that this kid had more potential behind the wheel. Like you're able to fucking evaluate a 7-year-old child and decide that one sport fits him better than the other. I was picking my nose and stealing smokes when I was that age. Doesn't mean I was showing potential for becoming a disgusting convict. Disgusting because I was picking my nose, not because I would commit something atrocious. Jesus, I made myself sound like a fucking racist. Taking a gander at Antonelli's early career, what I immediately recognize is that he has been a success from the start. Winning several karting Grand Prix and championships, he quickly elevated himself to the world of F4 at the very young age of 15. And in 2022, only his second year in the league, he went out and won it all essentially, and became that year's champion, which led to the almost unprecedented jump straight to F2, skipping out on the F3 league as a whole. I'm not sure how many kids have done such a move, as the information was not on Antonelli's wiki page. It would be foolish to think that I would read anything other than a single Wikipedia page for the preparation for this video. I'm a natural, mate. I don't need to prepare for things. I'm like a Max Verstappen. Minus all the money, fame, and Kvyat's wife and daughter. But in any case, the fact that Kimi was able to enter the minor Formula League without having to spend extra years proving himself in F3 only speaks to the absolute talent and the recognition of this talent by everyone on the paddock. He has been praised by none other than the Wolf himself and his lackeys for being an unprecedented talent and surprisingly consistent for a kid born in 2006. 2006. And he's 18 years old. Fucking hell, mate. I'm a fucking mummy. And now, coming into present day, Mercedes has graciously rolled out the red carpet and introduced the young child to the big leagues. And at the Mercedes garage, there's a lot of pressure now to not only fill the heavily worn out seat of Lewis Hamilton. I mean, what'd you expect? After 11 years in that seat, the padding is essentially disintegrated, colour has dulled out, and the metal must be nice and polished from all the nervous twitching Hamilton must have been exhibiting if his constant complaints over the radio were any indication. But not only does the kid have to replace a 7-time champ, he needs to do better than Lewis. Yeah. Simply because although the Mercs have had a good run of performance in the past few races, they are still miles away from being where they want to be. They are still currently just 4th in the fucking constructors. The worst placing in I don't even fucking know how many years. But it's a lot. Probably pre-Toto era. And judging by the sheer quantity of grey on Toto, that was a fucking long time ago, mate. So what can Antonelli do to bring the Mercedes team back to its former glory? What does he possess that his predecessor was lacking? If you put them images beside each other, you can probably fucking guess what I'm about to say. Yes. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Kimi's younger than Lewis. Considerably younger. And most would say that is actually his biggest fucking disadvantage. The kid literally has a fraction of the experience of the senior citizen that is Lewis Hamilton. He didn't even race in F3. How the fuck is he supposed to adapt to the F1 world so quickly? Well, first off, he already has. He's tested with Mercedes this year several times and apparently, according to Toto, has shown himself to be straight on it from the first laps. Of course, take it as he may, Toto is known to bullshit his way through an interview, the sly fox, but even his race engineers have said that Kimi is well on the pace and are expecting great things. And for sure he lacks an experience to a 7-time world champion. No shit, Sherlock. You should open a fucking detective agency with the observational skills that you have. Actually, just try and get yourself a job at Ferrari, because they're clearly lacking in recognizing the obvious. But what he lacks in experience, he makes up for with the fire he brings to the team. Having fresh meat on the team not only opens up the path to the hearts of the younger F1 audience, which for sure boosts the team's income. Imagine all the little kids now wanting to buy an Antonelli t-shirt, cap, shoes, keychain, mug, lanyards. Like you have anywhere to wear that fucking thing to. Literally nobody wears a lanyard from the age of 5 until you're 25. At which point you have to carry the constant symbol of slavery that is the office keycard around your neck. If you haven't noticed, all of the other top teams have sent their legends to their local senior home for a well-deserved 60 years of doing all and taken on new guys that have proved to be a phenomenal investment. The 2 possums from Ice Age from McLaren, Max Verstappen for Red Bull. Luckily for them, he makes up the points for 2 in the RB. Leclerc for Ferrari. But I wouldn't really pay much mind to the Scuderia, they're kind of off at the moment. What this clearly indicates is the other teams have moved on, and successfully so. The increased competition Mercedes is facing now is in part due to the fresh blood that has entered the teams around them. It just brings new perspective, new strengths, a new soul for the team to put their faith behind, and believe that they too can now become a championship contender. With Hamilton behind the wheel at Mercedes, yeah, they knew he was successful in the past, but not so much recently. Also, he was annoying as f***, so I think the team just got f***ing tired from his constant whining, complaining, and fake personality he put on in each of his interviews. If I was a Mercedes engineer, I wouldn't just underperform. I would sabotage the team's progress to ensure Hamilton wasn't on the podium and was not given a f***ing mic ever again. So there you go. With this recent addition to the roster, Mercedes might be able to regain that young, fiery spirit that they have, in my opinion, been lacking compared to other teams. Of course, there are many other issues facing the Merc, and the addition of a child to their roster will not solve it all. But I think this is the right step in a new direction for the team, one that may very well lead them to many more successes in the future. At least I'm optimistic. By the way, I'm reading now that they literally named Kimi after Kimi Räikkönen. Like his dad just thought he should have a foreign second name, and he came up with that. What the actual